My name is Miriam Soler Ramos. My title is City Attorney of the City of Coral Gables. So the City Attorney is the General Counsel and the Chief Legal Officer for the City of Coral Gables. And basically we work we're the in-house office for the city. So we draft legislation, resolutions, policies. We review all the contracts that come out of the city. We obviously represent the city and its elected officials and employees in any legal challenge. And we're the advisors to the mayor, to the commissioners, city manager, the ACMs, and all the city staff. I think the main difference is as the number two, you're more of the implementer. You implement the big policies and you're the advisor. You give your opinions, but ultimately the decision's made by the city attorney. And in this new role, I see myself more as the innovator, the thinker, obviously the final decision maker, which of course carries its own weight. And also it's been an increased public role, which I didn't expect as much, but I have seen that. I would say that the most interesting thing about this job is the variety of work. Within a day, we transition in 5, 6, 7, 10 different types of law. We work in the area of sunshine, public records, and ethics, of course, but also contract review, tort cases, employment and labor law, land use and zoning. So really, it's a very varied area of practice, city, county, local government law. I would say from a legislative standpoint, it's the attack on home rule and preemption. And you're going to hear me say that throughout. The state legislature has made a move in the last few years and continues to this legislative session, it seems, to try to preempt local governments from passing regulations in many different areas. And that is definitely an attack on, we see it on the quality of life of our residents and businesses. Legal, it's really related. I mean, the big case that we have right now is polystyrene, the appeal that just went to the 3rd DCA. And it's, again, the state purporting to preempt an area that we believe should be left to the local governments. I have found that, as probably in any community, safety, of course, is one of the biggest issues for residents. I shouldn't say issues, the biggest goals. We thankfully have a very safe community. Our crime rate is dropping every year. But it is obviously something that I think people everywhere are concerned about. Coral Gables in particular, I think that people really love the fact and find it very important that we're an accessible government. City Hall is truly open to everyone. And we are very responsive, the commission, the appointed officials, and really all of staff. We're extremely responsive to residents and accessible to them. And I think that they value that. And then, of course, protecting the character of the city. We're such a unique city, probably in the world, but certainly in Florida. And protecting that character, whether it be our urban planning, our design, our beautiful foliage, those are the things that I think set us aside and that residents really value and want to keep. So I came from the Miami-Dade County Ethics Commission prior to joining this job. And I think that that's helpful because I know a lot of people, not just at the Ethics Commission, but at the county, in the county at large. I think it's a positive relationship. We certainly take different views sometimes, but we do it in a respectful way. We may agree to disagree, but I think it's a positive relationship, and I found that they are receptive to our needs. And I also, again, know lots of people at the county attorney's office who we deal with often, and both of our commissioners that are in our district, really it's 3. Commissioner Cava has a small piece, and Commissioner Sosa and Commissioner Suarez have the rest of the city, are so willing to listen and to work with us and to help us. The 2 big ones that are under consideration now, and they have not been approved, they're at different stages, is a Merrick Park Hotel. There's an open parcel of land between San Lorenzo and Altara, kind of behind Merrick Park, and they're looking to do a high-end hotel there. About 135 rooms is the projected amount, and the idea is that it would intersect very well with Merrick Park. So that's one that's kind of in the pipeline, and the other one is the Venera project, which has not gone to commission yet. They have gone to Planning and Zoning Board, and it's a mixed-use project, but it's only residential and retail at the moment. And it's between Venera and San Remo off of Murray, so kind of in that same area. Those are the 2 kind of big ones that are in the pipeline. Yes, I see a definite move toward walkability in the city. We've expanded our trolley service, the routes, as well as when they operate. We have, which of course allows for people to move from the trolley service to the bus system or from the trolley service to the metro rail. We've also added the freebie program, which essentially is a really cute kind of golf cart that takes you around the city for free. And so you just request it like an Uber on your phone, and it'll pick 3 or 4 people up and drop them off throughout the city. And we're moving to a centralized valet system. So the idea is that you'll be able to drop your car off on Miracle Mile, walk around all of the downtown area, and get picked up 10 blocks away. The freebie is for anybody that's in the city, and it's a pilot program. We have it going on for, I want to say, a year, but don't quote me on that. And it's working out really well. We've gotten great reviews about the freebie. So we did a couple of things after Irma. The commission adopted a state of emergency ordinance. So while they're enumerated in state law and we followed all of those things during Irma, we felt it was helpful to have it in one place. And so we did adopt that after the storm. The other thing that the commission did is that they impaneled a blue ribbon committee with technical experts, really from various different areas, to come together and talk about process improvement. What can we do better? What can we do to plan? What can we do to react once it happens? And then, of course, the FPL lawsuit, that for us is a prospective measure. We're not looking in the past to ask them to necessarily correct their wrongs because of something they already did. What we're really looking for is to not have this happen in the future. To have them do a better job of updating their infrastructure, do a better job of changing their equipment, do a better job of trimming the trees that are intersecting with their lines, which is something that only they can do, so that if we go offline, it's not this long period of time, but that we can be restored much quicker. Well, I've been in municipal a little less than that because I was a prosecutor at the beginning of my career. But I would say it's just more complex. There's so many more issues. Municipal governments are really trying to be responsive to their citizenry. And it is more complex, I believe. I also believe that we've moved a long way from where we were 20 or 30 years ago. In fact, before the Ethics Commission was impaneled, and that was one of the reasons they were created, in being more transparent and in having less, although it doesn't seem like it, less scandals, less corruption. Thankfully, Coral Gables has always been above the fray in that area, really in most areas. But some of the other municipalities really that had more troubles, I think, are doing much better and really making an effort at being transparent.